So your engagement on Instagram sucks a little bit. Let's fix it. Hi, I'm Ariana. I'm a social media manager. On this channel, we talk about socials for business, content creation, work-life balance, and all that fun stuff. If conversations and content like that interest you, I'd highly recommend subscribing. And if you find this video valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a like down below. Let's go ahead and get into all of the ways that you can fix your Instagram engagement for your brand or for your business. So the first thing that I have to say is that Instagram engagement has been dropping for literally an entire year now, as of July 2024. So it is happening to everyone, but here are a couple ways that you can fix this little problem that can actually have a really big impact on your brand and your business. So we are going to go through all of the different places that you can post content on Instagram, and we're going to talk about different ways that you can boost your engagement for each of these places. So that's going to be the structure of this video. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and get into how to boost your engagement on your story posts for Instagram. The really obvious thing is to use as much interactive features as possible. So I'm talking about the polls, the question stickers, the quiz, all the things, but you want to make sure that you use them tastefully and you don't want to spam your audience with these interactive stickers, because it's very obvious when people use it that they just want to get good engagement. So you want to make sure that you're posting things that really actually entice your audience to want to interact with it or want to kind of give their feedback. You can definitely use interactive stickers very often while still being very tasteful, and again, that goes into posting content that your target audience actually cares about and actually wants to see or have an opinion on. And you should know better than anyone what your target audience cares about and what they want to talk about or even have a conversation with you about. So getting into the technicalities of these interactive stickers, a great way to get the most out of this is by using an interactive sticker at the first slide of the day and the first slide that your audience is seeing. When people engage with these interactive stickers, it tells the algorithm that your content is engaging and people are interacting with it, so it will push it out to more people and it will get seen by more people, therefore increasing your reach and increasing your engagement. If you do use an interactive sticker on the first slide of the day, you want to make sure that it is really easy to interact with. So again, you want to make sure that you're talking about things that your target audience cares about the most, things that they will not even second guess interacting with or giving their opinion or their feedback on. So really easy questions, or it's just a simple poll that has something to do with whatever your story post is about, but just make it really easy for them to engage so that they actually will. Now, another way to boost your engagement with stories is by telling people to reply to your story with a certain word or even just reply to a certain story slide, and then they will get something out of it. So having an incentive to reply to your story. Now, I'm not telling you that you always have to give something in your stories just to get engagement, but this can be really interesting, cool things that will eventually start a conversation in your DMs with your audience, which is something that you always want. Now, examples of story engagement incentives could be maybe your freebie. So you can say something like, reply to the story with the word freebie and I'll send you the link to my free guide to blah blah blah. Or it doesn't even have to be something that has to do with your brand or something that you created. It can also be a link to something. So maybe you're using a really cool microphone in your content that you have actually gotten a lot of questions about already. So you want to go ahead and boost your story post engagement by posting the microphone and telling people to respond to the story post, and you're going to go ahead and send them the link to wherever you got it from. So it doesn't have to be an incentive of you are going to get an affiliate commission because you're sending them this. You want to get their email address by having them sign up to your freebie list. Literally be anything. So get creative with different ways that your audience can interact with you through your stories, because that's actually what stories are for. It's just to create a deeper connection with your target audience and the warmest audience that you have that hang out in your stories to see the casual version of you and your brand. So now we're moving on to feed posts and how to increase your engagement in this area of Instagram. The first thing that I have to say is to use the new poll feature that Instagram is pushing or has released recently. So if you have the updated version of the Instagram app, if you go ahead and start to create a post to share and you go in and write your caption, there will be a little button where you can add a poll. This is a great way to entice engagement from your audience without them even having to think of something to comment. It's also just another easy feature for them to engage with, just like the like button, just like the save button. Now again, you want to make sure that it's really easy for them to interact with and you're not really trying to make them think too hard about which option to choose, but this is just a great way to get easy, low effort engagement for your content. Next thing that you can do to boost your feed post engagement is, of course, by using a good hook. Now, a great way to figure out what hooks are going to work for you is to test out a bunch of different hooks in your content and kind of keep the concept or the topic of what you're talking about the same. This way, you are only testing out the hooks and you're trying to figure out which hook is going to do the best for your audience, because everyone is different and everyone's page is different as well. Another thing that you can do to boost engagement for your feed post is, if you're creating a carousel post, to make sure that you add music to your carousel. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like that, or it's a little bit distracting if there's a lot of information in the carousel, but the reason that I would highly recommend to always add music to your carousels is because if you do, then your carousels are going to be more likely to be pushed on the Reels tab. Now, Instagram Reels are kind of trying out this new feature. It's been around for a little while, but they're kind of piggybacking off of TikTok's photo carousel feature. So if your carousel has music on it, then it will most likely be pushed and shown and shared on the Reels tab. And we all know that the Reels tab is a great place to get reach from new followers and non-followers. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all of these interesting, sneaky little features. Topping off the boosting engagement for your feed posts, we're going to get a little bit technical, and you probably already know these things, but I just want to reiterate these just in case you kind of are slacking off on doing it. But these are very, very important. Kind of common knowledge. This is the type of content that you consume a lot, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. If you are posting carousels, you also want to make sure that you have a hook in the second slide of your carousel. Now, when you post a carousel, Instagram will re-show this post to people who haven't seen it or haven't interacted with it or seen it the day after you post it. But they will show it from the second slide first. Even though you do have a good, strong hook on the first slide of your carousel, you want to make sure that you have a second hook on the second slide of your carousel. So maybe you can go a little bit deeper into whatever the topic of your carousel is, or just make sure that the visuals are another visual hook for your audience. So that is just something to keep in mind when you are creating your content. Which brings me to your caption. So you also want to make sure that you have a hook in the first line of your caption. You get people reading and get people interested in whatever it is that you have to say. Now, I know that this sounds like a whole bunch of hocus pocus, a whole bunch of like sneaky tactics and social media hacks to get engagement, but these are the things that we have to do if we want to really get our content in front of our target audience, because there are a lot of people creating content now and there's a lot of competition. Now, that's not me telling you to give up. I'm just saying that this is what we have to do to survive. The last thing for your feed post that you can do to boost engagement is to make sure that you have strong call to actions. Place these at the end of your carousel and at the end of your caption. So you're giving your audience a little double reminder that they need to comment something if they want to grab this, or we want to know what you think about this, or make sure you save this post, make sure you save this post, make sure you save this post. And lastly, we have finally made it to how to boost your engagement on Instagram Reels. So I'm just going to kind of spitfire this at you because I've basically explained all of these things already through the stories and through the feed posts, but here is what I'd highly recommend you do for your Instagram Reels to get the most out of your content and to optimize it for the best performance it can possibly get. So number one, have a good hook for your Reels. This is going to be the text that people are reading as soon as they come across your Reels. Again, make sure you test out different hooks that your audience are going to respond to, or what hooks work for your audience. The second thing is to have a visual hook. Now, if you're posting Reels, this is short form video. Doing something that captures your audience's attention real quick is also going to make them stay. Having a big movement at the beginning of your video, for example, I usually like to kind of like grab my coffee. This is a candle. I usually like to grab my coffee from like where the camera is at the beginning of my B-roll videos, because that's kind of attention grabbing because there is some movement going on. But having a visual hook will capture your audience's attention without them even reading anything. Another example of really good visual hooks are like satisfying videos, like someone cracking an egg, or like those cooking videos. I'm sure you know what I mean, but having a visual hook is another layer of trying to capture people's attention so that they watch all of your video. Number three, which we already spoke about, is having a caption hook. So there's like one singular line that your audience is able to see when they're on the Reels tab of your caption. So you want to make sure that that is also a good hook that will get your audience to read your caption. And of course, when they read the caption, the reel is playing in the background, and then you get a whole bunch of plays and views. So social media hacks. Number 4 is to again use the poll feature in your caption. Now you can use this on feed posts and you can use this on reels, so make sure you're taking advantage of these new features. And again, it's a really easy way to kind of just get some engagement from your audience without them really having to do anything. Number 5 is using the comment the word blank and I will send you blank. So this is actually a ManyChat automation. ManyChat is a platform or a software that automates your Instagram comments so that when someone comments a specific word or a phrase, ManyChat will automatically DM them the link or whatever it is you are promising them. So this is really great for business owners because creating a personalized experience for your audience, also automating the interactions that you have with your audience as well, and also directly sending them the links to your offers or your freebie list or whatever it is that you want to share with them. And it also promotes engagement for your content because people are commenting this word and they're just commenting. There's a bunch of people just commenting the same word, and it creates a lot of comments and engagement for your content. Now, you do have to pay for ManyChat, and if this is not something that you want to do, and if you have the capacity to actually go in and look at your comments and reply to everyone who does comment that specific word, then you can definitely do that. I think this is a great way to boost engagement because it's a really, really clear, solid, strong call to action at the end of your caption or even at the end of your reel. People can easily do and easily follow. So this is what I mean when I say to make it easy for your audience to interact with your content, because the easier it is, the more likely they will actually do it. And if all else fails, just delete your account and make a new one. I'm just kidding. If all else fails, then it's probably your content. Switch it up and test things out. Maybe the content that your audience interacted with before, they're not really vibing with anymore, and it's your job to figure out why. Maybe not even why, but it's your job to figure out what they actually want to see now. So test out different formats, test out different topics, test out different hooks, test out different visuals, and make sure that you are writing all of this down and keeping track of what is doing well and what isn't. Even if you have a whole list of posts that did really poorly, that is still giving you information on what your audience doesn't want to see from you. Take that information and do something with it. Hopefully now you have a better idea for a starting point on how to boost your engagement on Instagram. I really hope that I got your wheels turning. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you leave me a like down below. It really does help me out. If you like conversations and content like this, I'd highly recommend subscribing. If you have any other video suggestions you'd like to see from me, please let me know down in the comment section. You can go ahead and follow me on all of my social media accounts. Everything will be in the description box down below, as well as some resources for your content creation process. I have a social media planner template and a lot of really helpful things that I've created to help you create content faster and to grow your social media account. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!